Hi everyone, it's Debbie here, and today is the last Sunday of February where we've been talking about self-love. So because we've been talking about self-love, the tips for this week are all about who am I? How often have you asked that question of yourself? Who am I? If you're like me, it'll probably have been on several occasions and not really knowing who I am, what I'm doing here, what my purpose is. So the work I've done on myself over the years has got me to realize who I am. And, it's an ever-going exercise. It's not just something you find out who you are and then close the book and then that's it, because we're ever evolving. But I think sometimes we need a kind of starting point to work from. So when you ask yourself, who am I? Also think about it as what's my identity? So you're asking yourself, who am I? What is my identity? And the answer could be, could take some time. All right. And as you see by the quote in the newsletter, it's the Indian sage talks about, it's not about the question. It's about, it's not about the question having an answer, but it's about dissolving the questioner. And what it means by that is it's the things that make you who you are. So it's who am I? Your identity is, what is it that makes me me? What makes up myself? And it's a really good and critical component of who you are and why, because you can break up your identity into different areas. So you've got things like your values, you've got things like your experience, things like your relationships, things like your environment, and there are lots of quizzes out there as well that help you with understanding your identity. There's like personality quizzes, who am I quizzes, and I'll put some in the newsletter in the Acts of the Heart, so above or below this video, so that you'll actually be able to try some of them out if you want to. Not compulsory, not part of the newsletter, but it might just be something that you want to do. And separating it, who you are, up into those components will help you to identify who you are and understand who you are. And once you've got this understanding of your identity, you can then get a bigger picture of who you really are, and the thing is, you're more than just one thing. You're more than just a person. You're a whole entity of ideas and experiences and knowledge and learning. And why do we need identity? Why do we need to know who we are? But I think when you ask yourself, who am I? It kind of really gets to the heart of that need for identity. We need to know who we are. We need to know where we are in the world. We need to know where we stand in the world, what's our position in the world. Or do we need to know that? Is it that having that knowledge so that you can live the life you want to live? And not having that knowledge is going to stop you from living that life you want to live? Another question you may want to ask yourself. And the thing is, we are, like I've said all along, we are human beings, not human doings, okay? And a lot of having that sense of identity is kind of a comforter. It potentially can ground you and can give you confidence, and kind of gives you an identity that affects every area of your life. you know, from the choices you make to the values that you live by. And, you know, I talk a lot about choices, and we do have choices. And yes, we sometimes may not make a choice that serves us well, but that's okay, because we learn from that choice, and not to make that choice again, but to choose something that helps us and supports us better. And, you know, I suppose it's a little bit like, you know, when you do things online and they ask you for an avatar, or, you know, it's almost as if you know, you have to describe your avatar, you know, because it's your values, it's your experiences, it's your choices that you live by, and that's what creates your own avatar. But one of the things you have to really remember is that your identity can be affected, and the who I am question can be affected by outside factors, you know, and a lot of it can come from the values of parents, or the values of your culture, or values that actually no longer align to your authentic self. So it's really being aware of what's going on around you, and what effects are you allowing that to have on you, and remembering that you have the choice to change that environment, and change the effect that that's having on you. And, you know, I know when it's kind of parents and coming from authority, that it can be a difficult one to address, but you are a person in your own right, and you have the right to live the way you want to live, and have the life you want to have, you know. And, you know, there's that saying, isn't there, the truth hurts. And when we can embrace the truth of who we really are, then we can live in the shoes of who we want to be, you know, and who we are as a person, and recognizing who we are, and, you know, flaws and all, you know, it's part of your makeup. But those flaws are also learning curves for you as well, that you can move forward from, you know. And is your identity something that you see false, something that is demanded of you, rather than it be something that comes from you? You know, so identity may not be a word that you want to kind of use, but when you are asking yourself, who am I? It's about reclaiming your personal power. It's about you living in your own power. Because one of the biggest things that can be holding you back from finding out who you really are is that you don't know your own real personal power, what you are good at, what you can step into. And this is where, you know, some of the quizzes might come in for you, you know, of who you are. And, you know, look in the mirror. And, you know, we've talked a lot about mirror work over these last few weeks. And, you know, you need to begin with yourself, and stop looking for those external things that you can grab onto that can sort your life out for you. Because if you are where you are now and you're not happy with where you are now, then those outside forces aren't actually fixing things for you. They're not working. And that's because until you unleash your own personal power, you will never find the satisfaction and fulfillment you are searching for. And, you know, when you learn to embrace yourself as you are right now, you know, really embrace yourself, you can then look at all of the things that work with you and all of the things that work against you. So take the time to be with you, be with yourself, and just look at, what do you struggle with? And if it's a struggle, is it a struggle because it's not actually who you really truly are? It's not the person you were born to be, and that's why it's a struggle. Everything that you do in life should not be a struggle if it's aligned with who you truly are. So I hope that's helped you today. And any questions, as usual, just reply to the email, pop into social media, private message me, and I'm here to answer your questions. Okay. And also watch out, if you are on Facebook, watch out, because there's something really, really exciting coming for you next week. If you don't know where to find me, I'm on the Heart Act Approach, which is my page. Obviously, there's my personal page, which is Debbie Debonair. And also I have the Freedom to Be You movement free group, which you are more than welcome to join. So you can find me there on Facebook. If you're on LinkedIn, under Debbie Debonair on LinkedIn. And on Instagram, I'm actually under Heart Act Approach on Instagram, if you want to find me there. Have a lovely rest of your February, and let's look forward to seeing what March brings for us. So as I say, have a lovely rest of your February, a lovely weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next edition of Acts of the Heart. Take care, everyone.